Welcome to another episode of Uplifting Interviews with Total Strangers. We've got John on board. Very beautiful John. It's actually the prettiest John I've ever met. And she's from Slovakia. And our first Slovakian on the show. And she's very upbeat and fun. And her boyfriend is fantastic, which it joins a very rare group of people that, of course, when you're fantastic, no one ever forgets you. And you're not going to forget him soon because you're living with him, I imagine. Yes. So, how long have you been in America?
On and off for 2.5 years.
2.5 years. And do you go back to Slovakia?
Yes.
What is life like in Slovakia right now?
It's probably very hot. It's summertime. I'm not there very often. I live in Helsinki right now.
Helsinki?
Mm-hmm.
Head north on South Hoover Avenue toward east.
And here you are in the design work?
Yes, yeah. So I have a design internship because I'm going to grad school where I'm studying design.
Uh-huh. And how does, we were talking about being positive.
Yeah.
And you had a workshop at work that talked about being positive?
Well, that talked more about leadership. But I guess that positivity and respect, all those things are part of being leaders. So,
what would you come away with from that discussion?
That when it comes to LA area, there is such a diversity that makes you realize that maybe the top 5 leaders that are in your mind right now are just straight white people, no mixed race or no Latinos, for example, because where I come from, the diversity is not so high. Or, for example, you don't really know what's the sexual orientation of those people, and it maybe to us doesn't seem all that very important to know all these little details, but it was yesterday at the workshop, and part of it is probably because this girl, she's fighting for equal pay, so she really cares for all these nuances of knowing who is in our eyes a good leader and what are his qualities.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah.
And we talked about being fantastic and that your boyfriend is fantastic.
For sure.
And anyone else in your life that you remember being like that?
My family is fantastic.
No, because you think that they're fantastic. Right. They don't say they're fantastic.
That's true.
There's a difference between thinking someone's fantastic and someone expressing to the world that they're fantastic. It's to me it's a movement that makes other people happy as well.
Yeah, well, I have to agree. As the other guy in the video said, it's contagious. Because the other story I remember is actually the grandma of my boyfriend. Apparently she used to have a lot of style and be fantastic. So he might have gotten it from her.
Well, like you said, it was contagious. She's referring to a video I recorded yesterday of a gentleman that in 5 minutes got it completely. And I encourage you, if you're watching this, to rewind and go back to yesterday's interviews. And it's called the Be Fantastic Testimonial. And it's quite nice to hear his view of only knowing me for 5 minutes and seeing the value of being fantastic. And of course, if you like what you're hearing and you like the view of the road, be fantastic, share the channel, subscribe obviously. If you're a subscriber, thanks for watching, and have a fantastic life. And thank you, John, for that wonderful interview.
Thank you.
She's really pretty, by the way. You guys missed out. By the way, she's Slovakian, if I didn't mention that. I think I did. Bye, everybody. Well, we have a little bit of an update. We shut the camera down. The interview is over. But we're talking about in Helsinki, it's not only literally dark, right? It's emotionally dark.
Well, it gets sometimes, yes. So
it's like dark 6 months out of the year or something there? Or how does that work?
Yeah, so there are many dark months, basically. November, October, November, October a little bit, but November definitely, December, January, February,
Dark 24 hours a day?
Not 24, but in the bad months, Well, let's say there are 4 hours of good daylight.
4 hours.
Yeah.
And could that be in the middle of the night, or is it always during the day?
So in winter, the daylight is during the day, but in summer, so still right now, even at midnight, it's still daylight. It's like it flips then. So the summer is almost always light, and the winter is almost always dark.
And so that plays an emotional impact on people's lives?
Definitely.
The darkness?
Yes. Yeah.
And so they're a little bit more depressed?
Yeah.
So they're not so fantastic?
they're not always so fantastic. Yeah, exactly. And sometimes it's just really hard to keep up your being fantastic, you know?
Right, to keep up your
there's so
positive.
much around it.
Wow.
So many others are not having a fantastic day.
Yeah. Wow.
So that's sometimes a little
I guess I'm not going to move there.
Yeah, no, you wouldn't want that. The country is great. It's just this